Happy Halloween. Week 9 is here, and it's time to talk some Thursday night football. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I am your host, Steven, and happy Halloween to everybody out there. If you got kids, hope you guys have a good one, a good, safe Halloween. But I'm ready to get back into it. NFL grind is on. It's week 9 already. I don't know where this season is going, but just want to point out some reminders, some scheduling for this channel here in the next few days. First of all, the NBA Best Bets video will be out after this one later in the night. So be sure to check that out. But NFL Best Game Bets, where we give out sides, totals, all the trends, everything that we usually do. It usually comes out Thursday night. We are going to be doing that Friday morning. It might be Friday afternoon if you're not on the West Coast. But just letting you know, because Halloween night, it's going to be hard to do 2 videos. Just got busy times with the kiddos. So just want to let you know it's still coming out. Might just be a little later. NFL player props video still will be coming out late Friday night like usual. And then for the second weekend in a row, and ever on the channel, we will have a Sunday Night Football standalone video. It will be coming out earlier than usual, earlier than last week. I mean, it'll be coming out sometime Saturday evening. So stay tuned for that as we break down and give our best bets for that Sunday night primetime game. So before we get started here, I just want to say congrats to 2 different people, 2 good people. Congrats to Jordan from It's the Final Round hitting 40,000 subscribers, and congrats to Kyle Kerms, who just hit 100,000 subscribers. It's cool to see all the good work or the hard work pay off. I know both of these guys. Obviously, you've seen me on the Kerms channel. These are 2 good dudes, so it's just cool to see them succeed. If you're not following them, go give them a follow. It's the Final Round and Kyle Kerms. So now I'm ready to get into it, but we don't have an NFL fun fact today. We have a dad joke. That's right. Here we go. My wife told me she didn't understand cloning. I told her, well, that makes 2 of us. Not bad, huh? Anyways, in that video, we're gonna recap, or in this video, we're gonna recap the 2 games we didn't. We actually didn't recap Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football yet. We'll go over those 4 bets real quick, and then we're gonna preview and give out our best bet for the Texans and Jets. I have one unit play, and then I'm gonna give out a couple leans after that, and then we'll wrap it all up with the recap. So hit that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment below. It continues to help this channel grow in the algorithm. The growth of this channel is because of you guys and your support day in and day out. So we appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, as we are now on our way to 31,000 subscribers. Cannot thank you enough. So let's get into it. And it starts with the recap. All right, here is the recap from Sunday night and Monday Night Football. We went 1-1 both days, half unit plays all around. Jordan Mason over 76.5 rush yards. This is the second time I bet him this season, and this is the second time he leaves early with an injury. That takes skill. I'm not gonna lie, that's not easy to do. Over 47, Dallas San Fran ended up being an easy winner. Monday Night Football, George Pickens, he got that big play we talked about. That's all you need to get this over. He had like a 40-something yard catch and cruised over. So that was a nice win. The 6-point teaser was okay until they went just over with the last field goal, unfortunately, to avoid that, or to not get that 2-0 sweep. So 1-1 both days. It is what it is. We lost like a very small amount of juice. There's the overall season record. If you're new to the channel, we go over every single bet on Sunday night videos for the Monday Night Football, and we break down our overall record, player props, game bets, and everything. These are just from the 2 primetime games. So that is the bets recap. And now let's talk Texans and Jets. All right, we start week 9 by heading out to New Jersey to watch the New York Jets host the Houston Texans. Jets -1.5. Total in this game is 42. Let's just talk about it real briefly before I get into my 1 unit best bet of the game. The trend here, Texans have gone under now in 16 of the last 22 regular season games. That is just absolutely wild. They've just been playing some low-scoring games. So Texans right now are the only winning team in the NFL to have a losing record against the spread. The only winning team in the NFL to have a losing record against the spread. That just shows they're not playing very well. It just has not been pretty. Even though they've been winning some games, they just have not been playing as well as they did last year, that's for sure. But no Stephon Diggs, if you don't know. He is now out for the entire season. That is a huge loss for them. Nico Collins might not be back for another couple weeks as well, so it is going to be all Tank Dell and everyone else, obviously. But Jets coming off an absolutely horrendous loss versus the Patriots. They have not made any progress since having Zach Wilson at quarterback until now. It's just been absolutely ugly for them. But the Jets did out-yard them by almost 100 yards. They held the Patriots to 247 yards. It's just one of those games where they just lost it right at the end. But if I had to pick a side, I'd pick mashed potatoes. No, honestly, I don't know. This is a really tough call. Everything about me says it's probably a Jets spot, but it also makes me throw up in my mouth when I talk about betting the Jets. So I'm not going to bet a side. But my best bet, it is a player prop. Give me CJ Stroud under 224 and a half pass yards, minus 120 on ESPN bet. Let's just talk about this one for a second. So Stroud obviously out his two top receivers. That's huge. No Diggs, no Nico Collins. He's going to be relying on Tank Dell. In the 2 games since Nico went out, CJ Stroud 192 and 86 pass yards. CJ is also a guy who you want to look to back indoors and fade outdoors. Indoors, 291 passing yards per game in his career. Outdoors, 198.1. It has not been the same, almost 100 yards per game different. He's only under this line in 3 of 8 games this season, and those three unders were all on the road. Guess what? They were all outdoors as well. At Minnesota, at New England, and at Green Bay. 86 at Green Bay, 192 at New England, and 215 at Minnesota. And he's only averaging 181 yards per game in the 4 road games this year. I mean, it just hasn't been pretty since he leaves that comfy confines of Houston, that's for sure. But now this is not the same high flying offense as well. We've talked about it. They don't make the big splash play anymore. They really, it's a lot of defenses are playing two safety, making them beat them in front of them. And the only way they make big plays is because of Nico Collins usually. And obviously he is out. Now they're facing a Jets defense. They allow the second fewest passing yards per game this season, only allowing 161.1 passing yards per game. And quarterbacks versus the Jets this season, 6 of 8 quarterbacks so far have gone under this yards line. The 2 that went over, Purdy, 231 pass yards, but he's also a guy that averages over 260 pass yards per game. Stroud only averages 243. Obviously, when he leaves Houston, it's a lot lower. And then Russell Wilson hit on a couple big plays in the second half to go over this line as well against them. Hassan Reddick back for the Jets. You know, if he's ready and doesn't have rust, he's going to really help their pass rush as well. Texans offense this season, they've been really run heavy. I mean, Mixon has 25 carries in each of the last 2 games. This is a running defense type of team. It's not a CJ Stroud pass all over the field like it was last year. The only worry here is maybe if the Jets can somehow score, which I don't know if they can score consistently, but if they do it, it becomes a shootout, or CJ Stroud is playing from behind and throwing a ton. That would, just like any under pass yards, you don't want that to happen, obviously. But in my opinion, we have an elite pass defense versus a very weak wide receiver group and a run heavy offense as well. A quarterback who has proven to be much worse on the road and outdoors. Give me CJ Stroud under 224 and a half pass yards as my one best bet for this game so far. That's a 1 unit play. I may add more. If I do, it'll be in the pinned comments. But now let's talk a couple leans. All right, I wanted to give you a couple more leans to go with my best bet. So let's talk about 2 of them. The first one, Breece Hall over 66 and a half rush yards. I think this game stays competitive. He's going to get a lot of carries. Obviously the spread indicates that as well. But he's been a huge part of the offense since Saleh got fired. He's hit 70-plus rush yards in 2 of the last 3 games. He has 18, 12, and 16 carries. Overall, that's 46 carries for 231 rush yards, 5 yards per carry. Texans, still a pretty good run defense. I'm not going to sit here and say they're weak. They've allowed the 9th fewest yards per carry this season, but I do think that's kind of baked into this line, getting under 70 for them. But they're also not a very good tackling team. When you break down the numbers, that no team has allowed more yards after contact than the Houston Texans, and Breece Hall 65.9% of his yards after contact. It's been absolutely unreal. So if they have another bad tackling game, I think he's going to get quite a few yards here. I also think we get a lot of volume. I like his rush attempts over as well. So give me Breece Hall over as my first one. Second one, Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown. This is pretty much a value play. I saw this at plus 190 on FanDuel. He has 3 receiving touchdowns this year, but he's by far the number 1 red zone target on the team. I know Devontae Adams hasn't been there long, so he eats into that. I understand that. But Wilson has a 33.3% red zone target share. Only Lazard has higher than a 12% target share in the red zone this year for them. Again, I know Devontae Adams is there now, but still a great matchup here. Texans have given up the 2nd most touchdowns to the wide receiver position, 11 touchdowns to wide receivers. That's right. Only the Ravens have given up more. It's hard to get rushing touchdowns on them, but you can definitely do it through the air. So at plus 190, I think it's great value, worth a sprinkle. So that and Breece Hall are my 2 leans to go with my best bet for Thursday Night Football. Before we get out of here, let's check out the recap. All right, there it is. The one best bet so far, 1 unit play, CJ Stroud under 224 and a half pass yards at minus 120 on ESPN bet. If you just skipped to this page, we also talked a few leans in this video as well. But any added plays will be in the pinned comments on X and on Discord. As always, Discord is free. Click that link below. But thank you guys for the support. If you haven't already, hit that like button. I would appreciate it. Hope you have a great Halloween, and we'll talk to you soon.